everybody has a sort of unique, I guess, expression of who and what they are. There's a uniqueness or unique individuation of the soul in everyone, but yet each human being is going through this sort of evolutionary journey, and that evolutionary journey has certain sort of markers. The same way, like an oak tree, growing from an acorn, it's always going to grow into something that resembles an oak tree. So, and a human being is the same. There's a certain evolution happening within a human being, so it's going to go through these certain stages of development. So to me, that perennial teaching is, when you look at the different religions, or spiritual traditions, some of them tap into this in different ways. Some of them have a very complete map of that perennial teaching. Some of them just tap into little parts of that evolutionary process. So to me, I see that as moving from sort of an egoic entity on one end of the spectrum, to a sort of lightening up or enlightening, activating, growing the inner lotus. So the chakras are part of this, moving from the root chakra to the crown chakra. There's this energetic unfolding, and the inner energy becomes more and more subtle at each point. And at each sort of developmental stage, we get to explore different facets of life as well. So it is our life. It's the whole human journey. So as we move through these stages, there are different things that start to come online within the self structure as well. So activating the third eye, the inner wiring, and just having a capacity to experience different facets of the matrix, and with each level there are different new possibilities for attachment as well. So if one of my intuition centers comes online, and I really start getting super interested in that, then that can sort of stall out the evolutionary process until I've recognized that or made it conscious, and then the energy can continue on its journey.
Interesting. But essentially it comes down to, from your description, a flourishing of the soul's experience. Like as we elevate the consciousness, there seems to be an ever increasing novelty that comes with that evolution.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I got the imagery that when you were speaking of the oak tree, like a seed being planted in us, like our soul is the seed within the body, and it's growing through us, and we're flourishing, metamorphosizing into something else, who knows what or where. I feel it though. I feel there is something kind of growing within my being, and it comes down to just experience, experiencing more than just the pleasures and aversions of the body, just more than just the animal. It seems to me like where we're going is evolving more into this novel, almost movie-like experience or video game, and it's quite wonderful to have that like intuitive sense of where the future is going. It's quite wonderful. But it was a good description from you, man. I feel that totally.
Awesome. I love in some of the ancient Vedic traditions, they talk about these sheaths of the soul, and in our world right now, we're really just existing. Most of humanity is existing on the mental and physical sheaths.
Rather shallow.
Yeah. So when we awaken that energy, there's a whole energetic experience. There's a higher mind experience. When we go to sleep at night, the quality of experience, like the dreaming, there's a possibility of going into these other realms, astral realms, or whatever you want to call them, but just different possibilities for experience. And yeah, so there's, to me, it's like we're in, you know, humanity is in like the early stages of a video game where they're
Hmm.
they're just exploring like level 1 and 2,
Yeah,
but there's all these other levels that could be explored.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And it's all about the experience, right? People like to ask the most cliche question, what's the meaning of life, right? Why am I here? Who am I? When
Mhm.
it really comes down to it, it's just about the experience. It's like art for art's sake. You're just supposed to have a good time. Contrary to popular belief, you're supposed to enjoy this experience. So it
Yeah,
seems like the journey, the path is the path to that, right? It's the path to actually having a good experience. Put it
yeah.
simply. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Alan Watts. There's a talk I love where he says it's kind of like a musical thing,
Mm.
So you don't ask, what's the purpose of the song,
Yeah, you just
of
listen.
a piece of music.
Hmm.
It's not to get to the end or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the purpose is the music itself.
Yep.
It is the purpose.
Hmm.
So it's like the music of life is the purpose. It's
Hmm.
it's learning to dance or kind of groove with what's happening.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah,
It's a dance of life for sure.
yeah,
It's a
hmm
cliche. We've all heard it before. I'm pretty sure we've all heard it. The journey is the destination, right? That is a
hmm
cliche at this point, but that's the truth, man. It
yeah,
seems like as I go further along this path, the cliches become truer and truer.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
there is something unfolding as well. There is, I think there are flowerings of a human life. There are times where the self structure is in full bloom.
Mm,
And but every point on that journey, awareness is there. And we
exactly.
can be fully awake, fully embraced. Whatever's happening within the self structure.
Mm,
The most mundane, if we're fully awake, the most mundane phenomena is just incredible. It's
yeah,
beyond words.
beyond
And if
words.
we can have a direct experience.
Yeah, it's quite miraculous.